there, I'm Nicole. I am a writer and story nerd, and welcome on back. So, I am a computer engineer who's currently getting my master's degree in biomedical engineering, and I am taking a course in playwriting. If those things don't make sense to you, that's okay, long story. But I had the opportunity to take this class through the university that I'm getting my master's at right now, and it was the only creative writing class that I saw that was offered, and I was like, cool, I like plays, and so I signed up to take it. In this video, my goal really is just tell you a little bit about how this creative writing class in particular is structured and what I'm expecting to learn from it and what we're doing, and give you some tips that I've already gotten from the course. And I think this is going to be a little bit of a series, a couple videos as we go through the semester, telling you what it's like, what and how a playwriting class works. I think I'm going to learn a lot, and I want to see how I can apply that to my fiction writing and also compare and contrast like novels versus plays. So it's going to be really fun. I hope these videos are going to be interesting, especially because basically how the class is structured, there's like 5 or 6 of us, and of course it's on Zoom, and it's a workshop slash seminar. Now, of course, every creative writing class is going to be different depending on the professor. This is just the shape that mine takes, and if you're thinking of doing a class or wondering what that looks like, this is what mine looks like. So the overall goal of the semester is to write 2 one-act plays, but by the end you choose one that's kind of your main one act, and you can do like more than one act if you want to, but I think they just workshop the first one act. So in terms of like how things are structured, we are assigned plays and also interviews with playwrights to read. The purpose of that isn't to like analyze the themes in the plays like you would in an English class. It's more just to analyze the structure. And we all know how much I like talking about story structure. You can find my Google form on story structure here, and the description of the story grid story structure there, and the anatomy of story structure there. But what's really cool about this is that I think obviously the structure of plays is very different than the structure of novels, and the genre conventions and things like that are also, they seem different, you know, and also different from movies. A lot of plays, at least some of the ones that I've read and seen, are almost more of a mini plot where if you read it in a novel, you'd probably look up and be like, but nothing happened, you know? So I'm really excited to hear this professor's take on structure. So we read these plays, we read the playwright interviews, and we discuss them a little bit for about half of the seminar or certain seminar periods. And then for the other half, we do writing exercises and or critiquing. So for example, last week we did a writing exercise because we didn't have anything to critique yet. So the professor put on a piece of music. It was Spanish, and it was very, I wrote down, it was rhythmic, it was kind of angry, it was all female voices. I think it was Spanish. I heard the word amor, love, and I heard the word libertad, which I think is freedom. I just went with it. I didn't like speak the language that they were singing in, and we free wrote, and I thought that this was a really cool brainstorming technique to just grab this random piece of music and then free write for the entire length of it, and then like 5-ish minutes after it ended, and I ended up getting like 2 or 3 pages. And then our assignment for the week was to take that and turn it into a scene or a fragment of a scene that will be workshopped next week. So how this worked for me was I associated the music, and I was thinking, okay, like angry, these women are far from their families, there's a lot of desperation I'm hearing here, very rhythmic, and it actually reminded me of a song that I sang in children's choir, because I was 17 when I sang this song, but it was called My Parents as If Enemies, and it's from a collection of songs called A Young Nun Singing, I think. If you're interested in listening to that, I'll put the actual information below. The text was discovered and it was written by a woman who was in a convent, and she wrote, like, there's like 4 or 5 songs or something in this cycle based on what she wrote, and basically she wrote, "My parents as enemies of the life they gave me, a pleasing mate would be better than a convent gate." It was a song, rhymes, you know. So I put those 2 ideas together because both songs were angry and sung by women and very rhythmic, and I said, okay, I'm gonna write a scene about people in a convent. So that is the scene that I wrote. It's like fairly short, I think. It's not that many lines. It's like 2-3 pages, which if you're just writing dialogue with like minimal stage directions, it's not very much. It is hard because you have something in you hear how it's supposed to sound in your head, and I kind of know like what the characters are thinking because I wrote the dialogue, and then you read it back and I read it out loud and I'm like, without me like describing what the character said or like their thoughts or whatever, it's kind of hard to tell. So that could be a good thing or a bad thing. In novel writing, I've always wondered how you create pathetic irony. That's what it's called, right? Irony? Dramatic irony. Dramatic irony, where the audience knows something that the character doesn't. I don't know how to do that in a novel because I usually write very close to my characters. I'm always in their heads. I like being in their heads. So you get anything that the character knows, the audience knows. Unless they like figure it out before the character. That seems very advanced. Anyway, my point is, it's kind of cool because in a play, you're forced to have this distance away. So that's like a bad thing that I was finding difficult, but it's also a good thing because you can do more creative stuff. So anyways, I'm super duper excited. I don't know if like this convent thing is going to be one of my 1 acts for the whole course, but I do have a lot of historical play ideas that I'm tossing around and that are combining and stuff in my head. It really got my wheels spinning, and I was very impressed by this writing technique. So far that's what we've done. We've discussed plays and playwright interviews. We've done a free writing technique and free writing exercise. I think we're gonna do a few more of those, and I'm really excited. I don't do my brainstorming like that. The ideas just kind of come to me and I'm like, okay, take you. This is interesting to like have something to inspire you. It's cool. I dig it. I really like it. And I might try to actually incorporate it into my writing routine. And then we have the workshopping part, which I'm going to be experiencing tomorrow. So by the time you see this video, it will have happened. And this is interesting, and I'm gonna probably make a video about like, once I have a few experiences with it, what it's like to have your work workshopped in like a group of, 6 people where everyone's kind of giving you feedback and such on your work. I'm nervous. I don't know how to end this video besides asking you some questions such as, what genres other than like novels have you written in? Do you have any interest in at some point going outside of the genre or the medium, I suppose, that you're writing in right now? Have you taken a creative writing class, and if so, what was your experience like? Have you workshopped? If so, what was workshopping like? And I'm really excited to let you know how it goes, and have a great writing week. See you next time.